All right, we are ready and we are recording.
Here we are.
Hello.
That's Kim over there.
Feeling tired and fat and unshowered and generally
Nice.
gross today.
You're
So,
home. You're home.
no, but I
Yeah.
had so much I wanted to do today and my whole day got thrown off the rails. So,
That was me yesterday.
uh,
I had a delivery that again showed up early. I don't know what is wrong with these people who showed up
here
early.
they show up early.
At least it was only an hour early instead of like 3 hours early, like the other people the day before. And I felt sick. I was still queasy and gross feeling. Had some stomach thing the night before. And so then the day after, I was getting over it. So I was just laying on the couch like for the whole afternoon waiting for this person to finish setting up my new bed.
Did
And
they put together the bookshelf too?
yeah, he did. Yeah, put everything together.
Cool.
So, oh, you're on YouTube. So here, look, everybody can see my new bed. There we go. Got a new bed. My room is so cluttered now. It's not funny because there's also a dog crate and a small table that I've got to figure out what to do with. But all the things that I wanted to sit in my room and work on, what was I thinking that it was going to take him an hour? There's just, and
It's
he's an
well,
expert.
it's IKEA furniture. I mean, I'm like sitting here thinking I could have fucking thrown that shit together in an hour and a
No,
half. I have done
no.
my whole house is full of IKEA furniture. Everything
Yeah.
you see behind me is IKEA furniture. Now, granted, the ex-husband put this all together, but
This bed is probably the most complicated bed that IKEA has. It has like a headboard that is it's anchored to the wall. It's not sitting on the floor. And then it has little shelves along the side and a shelf at the top. And then it has 4 storage drawers. So you've got to build the whole entire
oh,
bed
right, yeah.
frame and put the things, the rails in for the drawers that they run on, and then zip, zip all of the slats for the mattress to sit on. It is huge, it's heavy, but it's wonderful because it doesn't move. And that was my big problem with my other bed. I can't bear a rickety bed. Can't handle a rickety bed. I need a bed that I feel appreciates my weight. But
Ah,
that bed said, yes, finally, somebody with substance is laying down on here. So
you don't want a bed to complain when you get into it. You
that's
want
right.
it to go,
This bed
hey,
that are, as soon as you move, the bed's like, you roll over and the bed's like, oh my God, again? She's moving again?
God,
No,
not more.
I don't need that kind of judgment in my life. Okay.
Nope.
So this bed, it is just not moving, and the headboard is there forever. It's the only place in my room that a bed could actually go anyway. So it's fine if it's there forever.
Well,
So
that's good.
mhm.
Cool. So Miss Stephanie is not with us at the moment. She will hopefully come a little bit later.
She went for a massage or something, which,
I think it was for physio down
oh
below.
right, post surgery, pelvic floor physio. And did she not go to somebody who the pelvic floor therapist person that we had on here
Hmm.
recommended?
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep.
Amazing.
Cool. So I guess I mean we just did a bit of a check-in. You got a new bed and new
Mhm.
shelves and
And you feel gross and unshowered?
mhm. I
Yeah.
think I mean really since COVID hit, my personal hygiene has really taken a traumatic dip.
Right. Because who do you need to smell nice for? As long as you can stand yourself, you're good.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly. Once I start to go, oh yeah, that's a little rank. Once the deodorant no longer hides it, yeah, just something has to
Then
happen.
you got to go in.
I
Yeah.
mean, this morning was supposed to be spent, washing my hair, showering, getting ready for this and all that stuff. But
Mm,
my uncle decided to have a panic attack in the middle of the night and I had to doula him through it
yes.
because
Let me close my window because I know that the street is very noisy because it's wet. Hang on. Close that window over there. And I have another window. Hang on. Close that one too.
okay. Dead air, dead air, dead air,
Stop.
dead air, dead air, dead
Oh,
air, dead
there you go.
air.
I'm
Da-na-na-na-na.
back. I'm back.
All right. All right. So I thought, I mean, last week we had talked about, maybe pulling some birth from the news,
Mhm.
ripped from the headlines, as it were.
Yeah.
So we found this the other day. I'm sure many have heard of it.
Hang on, pause.
Okay.
I need to read a land acknowledgement
Oh,
before.
right. Yes. Sorry. I always forget about that part. Sorry. I don't
Okay,
have it pulled up.
let us first pause for a minute and
And bad me for forgetting. I think my brain is just in overdrive to throw, just get right in and start shit to end it. So I
so that
apologize.
so that you can go do other
Have a
things.
nap.
Yes, like have a nap. It's okay. You just got to keep doing over and over and over again until it becomes like a normal thing. It's fine.
Absolutely.
So we acknowledge the land that we are podcasting on today. The land that Kim and I and Stephanie live on, raise our families on, and work on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaty, signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. Takaranto is built on sacred land that is part of an agreement between Indigenous peoples and then extended to allied nations to peacefully and respectfully care for it. By personally making a land acknowledgement, we are taking part in an act of reconciliation, honoring the land and Indigenous heritage, which dates back over 10,000 years.
Awesome. All
Yeah.
right. All right. So, ripped from the headlines. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Did you ever watch Law and Order?
I didn't, but my ex-husband used to.
Yeah,
And
I
yeah.
think they used to start sometimes that way, ripped from the headlines.
And we
Um,
also, just a cute side note, we hit a friend of his, like his best friend at that time, was doing some sort of film and videography course at Centennial College or something. And so he wanted us to do a little spoof, a spoof of Law and Order.
right.
And we all, it was hilarious. Like it had the music that,
Yeah. Dun 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 dun.
yes, yes. And John was the detective and I was the nosy neighbor. Like it was a whole script and
You were
everything.
Mrs. Kravitz.
I I am. I actually am. So the role came easily to me. And it was very cute. It exists somewhere on the internet. I don't know where, but he had it up there for years and years and years on his Facebook. And it was
All
hilarious.
right.
So
Sleuths,
yeah.
sleuths out there,
Go find that.
go find that. What was the
So
person's
funny.
name who created it?
Winston Scott.
Winston Scott. All right. So, should you take up this mantle, please go and find it and spread it far and wide. Put it on our Instagram page, put it on
Yes,
our Facebook page, email it to us because I'm desperate to see this now.
yes, it was hilarious. Winston Scott is now one of the esteemed firefighters in he lives in Niagara Falls, Ontario.
So he's not a filmmaker.
It's not a filmmaker. That course did not change his career path.
Well,
But it
I
was fun.
mean,
It was fun. The neighbor looked like he was beating his wife. So I, the nosy neighbor, was horrified. Oh my God, because he was chasing her around, hitting her. Then it turns out that there was a bee in the house, and the wife, that woman, was deathly allergic to bees. So he was trying to kill the
trying to
bee.
save her.
He was trying to save her, not kill her. And so that was the whole point of the premise of the whole show. So yes.
That's hilarious. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Find it and let us. I would love to see it again, as embarrassing as it was.
That's
So
hilarious.
yeah.
All right.
All right.
So,
Ripped from the headlines.
ripped from the headline. So, there was an article that came out August or October 13th in the New York Times, and I had seen it on Facebook and whatnot a couple of days ago. Brianna Hill gave birth to a baby boy between sections of her bar exam. So she actually wrote the exam covers 2 days. And the first day, you are writing a legal argument. And then the second day is a second part of the exam. So she was actually in labor in the first day of while writing this legal argument
Yes.
for the whole day, and then went to the hospital, had her baby, and
Mhm.
then came back and finished the second section.
What the hell?
I know. So holy determination for going through law school, getting pregnant, but still like going
Forging
forward.
ahead, not saying, "Oh my God, I need to pause this for 2 years or so.
Yep.
Let me just put it on the back burner." Nope, full steam ahead.
Yep.
Pregnancy is not an illness. Why should
Nope.
it stop you?
No, exactly.
It
Um,
got me, but then again, that's me, right? I'm gonna look for every excuse not to do shit. That's
so
hard.
so they say, I don't know how much I appreciate this, but this is a story of heroism, absolutely, but heroism in the face of extreme structural inequality in the legal profession and general apathy to those of us who are about to enter it, said co-founder of the United for Diploma Privilege, an organization that says it's trying to reform the way bar exams are administered to make it more humane. So you don't have to fucking go in and write it while you're in labor and then potentially miss it.
Mhm.
So
And
ridiculous.
these kind of stories, actually, it's a good segue to what our big topic is about imposter syndrome, because these kind of stories can be inspiring and motivating,
Hmm.
but they can also make you feel real shitty about yourself, because I said to myself, holy fucking shit, if that was me, I'm quitting law school and going home to lie down.
Just
I
gonna
don't
quit law school and go lie
Everybody's
down.
not made of that sort of grit, and you know what I mean? We're
Yep.
just simply not all made of that kind of grit. And I admire people with that kind of grit. That's my sister. That is my sister. That's not me. I don't
You
have
had
that.
a goddamn party while you had a Super Bowl party while you were in labor.
That's different.
Okay, but still,
I wasn't hosting, like, all I had to do is make pancakes, and as soon as I felt one contraction, I turned off the stove and left. Those
okay,
boys
but
were on
that's
their
only because you
own.
drop your babies in minutes. Like, come on.
Exactly. So that's why I was worried. So nah, that was like out of my control. She chose. So what I admire is when people choose to like put their shoulder in it and just keep going. I'm amazed by that.
I had
Totally
a
amazed.
I had a client once a couple years ago. She had called me um, in the morning and she was kind of whispering into her phone. And she was like, I think I'm in labor. And I'm like, okay, like, why are you whispering? Like, I'm awake. It's all good. It was like
Mhm.
7 o'clock in the morning. And she goes, I don't want my husband to hear. And I go, okay, why? He's got an exam to do. So she didn't want him to stay home. He had an exam that day, and she was in the bathroom trying to labor through so he couldn't see her,
Mhm.
so he could go and leave and then continue her labor while he was writing this exam. Because there
Yeah.
was, come hell or high water, he was writing this exam because I think he'd already missed it once
Mhm.
for the pregnancy.
Oh, yes, yes.
So she was like, oh, hell no, you're going. So I actually went and did, I mean, I don't normally go for early labor, but with her, I did. I went and hung out with her during early labor until her husband got home from his exam. Um, but the, and all the while, her mother was texting her from like Saudi Arabia going, you need to go to the hospital. I just read if this is happening, your baby's going to die and blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
Oh my
holy
God.
shitballs. Like,
Ah.
honey, can you not pick up that phone? Like, I get it's your mom, but
Mhm.
can we just not? Like,
Mhm.
she's incorrect. I just
Mhm.
Googled this, and if your water breaks, your baby's gonna die. Okay, no,
Calm
it's all
the
good.
fuck down.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank God I'm actually here because if she was at home alone dealing with that, I'd be like, my brain would explode.
Yeah. So I have two stories. One is a client of mine. She was in labor on the day that she was supposed to write her architecture to become an
Architectural.
architect. she
She
was
was an architect writing an
no,
exam.
she was going to write. She was going to become an architect, and she had to write, like the bar exam
Yeah.
to become an architect. But she couldn't go, so she was calling while we were at the hospital. She was calling, trying to get through to let them know that she was in labor and that she would not be able to write her exam that day. And I remember standing there staring at her while she was like calling, and then saying, "Yes, that's right." And giving like her student number, like while she's having a contraction, and still just talking through it. Yes,
Oh,
that's fine. That's fine. Great, thank you. They needed like doctor's notes, blah blah blah, all this proof to
do
prove
you do you
that
want
she
to
went
see
to
my
the exam.
placenta? What the
Yeah, do you want?
fuck?
We'll just video it and send it to you. I think this was before smartphones. Otherwise, I could just do like a Facebook Live like right now if you want,
Yeah, I
and
can show
show
you the
you what's
doctors.
happening. Yeah. So that's one thing. And then speaking of grit, I just mentioned my sister. This story will, like, we've got to put this in my sister's obituary because this incident exemplifies her life. My sister was 9 months pregnant with her fourth baby, surprise pregnancy. They'd had 3 girls, they were done. The last one I think was 6, and then bada boom, bada bing, she's pregnant. So now she's 9 months pregnant, and they have to, because they didn't expect another child, so to reorganize their house, right?
Yeah.
So the oldest daughter, my niece, was going to move down to a lovely basement bedroom that they had purposely created for her. Well, fine. The basement was done and ready to be moved into. So one night, my sister and her husband decided to move their daughter's bed down there. So they tried to get the box spring down the basement stairs.
Oh no.
Stuck. Couldn't
Oh
move.
no.
It couldn't friggin' move. So my sister is like 9 months pregnant, giant, like huge, frustrated. And her husband's like, it can't go down. It can't fit. Let's just forget it. We've got to maybe buy her another bed or something. And my sister's like, no way. We're not buying her another bed. Are you crazy? She's like, take the what you call it, that's this banister off. Take the banister off.
That makes
My
sense.
brother-in-law is like, no, that's not going to work. That's not going to help. No, I'm not. I'm going to go lie down. This is too much. This is too hard. I'm sweaty.
Nope.
And he leaves. So my sister's like, fuck that shit. This is happening tonight.
Oh my God. I am your sister.
And gets the toolbox.
Yep.
And unscrews the banister herself. Forces her husband to get up and says, now I unscrewed the banister. Let's go. The damn thing still wouldn't fit.
Shit.
So he completely gives up and says, forget it. We'll deal with it tomorrow. She's like, no, this is happening tonight. Do you know what she did? She went to Home Depot late at night. It was April, so it was probably gross weather. In the late at night before it closed, she jumped into her boots and her coat. She went into Home Depot and bought some things that she needed because she had a plan. She came back home. The box spring was lying in the middle of the foyer in her house.
Shit.
Right? They had a big foyer, so that was right there. She bought a hacksaw. She sawed the fucking box spring in half. Right? And then she was able to move it down herself.
Oh my God.
Piece by piece. Now she wanted to prove a point to her husband. She moved the 2 pieces of the box spring down to the bedroom. And she also bought, I don't even know what they're called, vice bracket thingies to grip, to put it back together, to hold the pieces together.
Yeah.
Turn that shit over, and mattress is already done there. Put the mattress back on, put the sheets on, done. Then she just put the screws of the banister back on, woke her husband up and said, go down to the basement. He couldn't believe, how did you get it down here? What did you do? How did you do it? He slept through the hole while she's like sawing through the box spring.
Holy shit.
That's what she did. 9 months pregnant. And then, like a week later, she had an emergency cesarean to deliver her baby.
Oh
so
my God.
It was a busy week. But that's my sister. I would be crying and saying, yeah, for sure. We'll have to get a new bed. That's it.
No, I would cry and then hacksaw. Like I would have a
while you were
minimum amount of crying. Yes. I'd be doing it all.
Nope. I'm calling my uncles, my cousins, and everybody to come over to figure this out for me.
Yep.
Otherwise, we're just going to buy a new bed. That is my sister. That exemplifies her personality 150%.
That's
Do not
hilarious.
present her with a problem.
Well, it's funny. One of Steph's clients, she's not here to tell the story, but they were, I did hypnobirthing with them.
Mhm.
And they were having a home birth and they had the pool set up and everything. But it was like end of year. And she was a chiropractor, I think. And she had to get her taxes done. So she's literally through labor doing her taxes to
Mhm.
the point where she finished them and then pushed, and it was too late to get into the tub because it wasn't even actually, well, I think it wasn't filled yet. But
Mhm.
she literally, in transition,
Yeah.
finishing up her taxes,
Yeah.
and then literally pushed the baby out like moments after that. Like, what the hell?
I just don't.
I'd be like, fuck
I
that.
can't multitask.
I
I'm not a multitasker.
But I mean, that's just it. If you're not a multitask, like if you're someone who has that kind of, determination, you're like focused over here and anything else can just forget it. And that includes labor. Like that's it,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, I often think of those clients. I had one client, I went to their home and she'd been induced. So I mean, we're not talking like regular labor either. She'd been induced and I got to her home. I tell this story in my classes all the time. Um, and we had been chatting, like texting and whatnot over the phone. And I thought, but she was a single mom, so she was alone, and it was looking like it was getting close to going to the hospital. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come over. So I went over and she was alone. She was in her kitchen doing stuff, and I was like making sure that all her stuff was at the front door to go. And all I hear from the kitchen is,
Mm.
what the hell?
Yeah.
What have you been doing this whole time?
Yeah.
And she's like in the kitchen cleaning it up. And I go, I don't know what the hell you're doing here, but we gotta go. Like we're leaving now.
Mhm.
And we're walking down the hallway in her apartment, and she's like, I'm going, you can't do that. Like you
Stop
can't
it.
do that.
Stop making those noises. You're scaring
No,
me.
when you breathe out, horse lips, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, okay, no problem. She's totally calm. My
Mhm.
brain is exploding at this point that I'm gonna have to deliver this baby in the bloody elevator.
Yeah.
So we're walking down the hall, and she's like, I'm like, oh my God, no. Now, thankfully, she lived right around the corner from the hospital. And we got there, and yeah, baby was crowning. But
Jesus.
she's like cleaning her kitchen. I
Yeah.
go, what the hell, man? We gotta go. I don't want to deliver your baby. We're out of here. Your
I
fucking
love
kitchen
those
was made.
stories.
I vomited in my kitchen before I left with my first. Who the
Uh,
fuck cleaned that up? I don't know.
well, I I my the midwife that I work with, she works at St. Mike's. So one day she was going into St. Mike's just for her usual to do some office work or whatever. She walks into the lobby. The lobby's crowded, busy. It's like the middle of the week in the afternoon. It's packed of people. And she sees an older woman pushing a pregnant woman in a wheelchair. And she had stopped to speak to somebody, this friend of mine, the midwife. And as she was speaking to somebody, she heard coming from the woman in the wheelchair. So she just said to the person, "Can you just excuse me one moment?" So she turned and said, "Hi, my name is so and so. I'm a midwife. I'm wondering, are you feeling a little pushy? Are you feeling, is this your first baby?" Quickly assessed the situation and then said to it was her mother, "I'm going to just take her right now because we got to get moving." And the mother's like, "No, no, no. Her husband is coming with the staff," or blah, blah, blah. And she goes, "No, we need to get upstairs right now." So she grabs the wheelchair and starts. And the woman is actively like pushing. And she's like, "Sweetie, you need to just slow it down and breathe like this." And she's telling her how to breathe. And meanwhile, she's on her phone telling the L&D people, "Meet me at the elevator right now." And they did. They had to meet her at the elevator. That baby was crowning as the 15th floor doors opened. They barely got her into her room, onto a bed. As soon as she got onto the bed, the baby just flew out.
Wow.
And it was because of her here, like she overheard. Otherwise,
Yep.
that baby would have probably been born in the lobby.
In the lobby.
The coffee shop girl was going to have to deliver the baby, or the or or one of the other people who hung out in the lobby at St. Mike's.
Isn't that funny? So again, good segue when we're talking about, imposter syndrome. And basically, the idea of imposter syndrome is that, you feel like you're not where you are. You feel like you're not an expert in a particular field, and yet you are. People see you as that, or people turn to you as,
Like you're pretending.
yeah, like that whole idea of fake it till you make it, but you just keep faking it. I think that's as a doula and as having been a doula for like 15 years, at this point, it's like I still feel like I know nothing and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. However, there's always this thing in the back of my head going, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course you know what you're doing. Of course you know what you're talking about. And I think every now and then I'm able to sort of tap into that sort of thing, go, oh yeah, that sounds like this. Oh yeah, that is like that. Like you can almost, I think I'm at a point in my career where I can just like mentally calculate really quickly and assess a situation really quickly and do what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, the very next day, feel like I'm a complete fraud at what I do.
That's it. I have struggled with this ever since I was a teenager, honestly. And it's really fascinating to me. I wonder where it comes from, because it's true. When you write down who you are, what you're about, what your experience is on paper, it's impressive and other people will be impressed. But somehow or another, you yourself are not impressed. I remember in high school, English was my best subject. And I would write these brilliant essays, or supposedly brilliant. See what I mean? They're supposedly brilliant essays.
People thought they were, but I don't know.
Yeah. My English teacher would write 100% brilliant on my essay and hand it back to me. And I would look at it and I'd be like, did he really read
Did they
this?
actually read it? Yeah.
Did he? And then I would like quickly shove it in my bag and just kind of walk out of the room without Joe. If he looks at me, he's like, hey, Suzanne, let me have another look at that. I think I might have made a mistake.
I think I need to take 50% off.
Let me actually, I got you mixed up with somebody else. I honestly felt like, what's wrong with him? Why are his standards so low that he's giving me perfect on this essay that I literally cranked out in 3 hours the night before? And year after year, I mean, I had this teacher for 2 years and then I had another teacher. I 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, those 4 years that I was in high school.
Yes, kids, we used to go for 13 years.
13 years. Yes. I didn't go to high school till grade 10, because we had a 7, 8, 9 junior high, and then we went from 10 to 13 in high school. So I had 3 different English teachers in those years, and I consistently got amazing English. Was consistently my best subject over and over and over, but I always felt like if only they read it again, they would see that it's not that good. So let me quickly put it away and lay low so that they don't scrutinize me too much. And it is, I still feel that way a little bit about my doula work. Like when clients say, people come up to you after class and they're like raving about how amazing the class was and how great you are. I always want to say to them, yeah, that's great. That's great. Thank you very much. Go, because the longer you stay here, that maybe you're going to realize that you were actually, you know what? Hold on a second. I changed my mind. You weren't that great after all. So thank you for the compliment. Go home. That's it. That's imposter syndrome. Can't hear you.
Right. I want to make sure there isn't any like dog cat sounds.
Mm.
Um, so
Actually, our recording today feels very stable. Like the sound and the video is clear and the sound is clear. I just was realizing, I don't know for on your side,
It
but on
is.
my end, it feels very.
Well, Steph's not here yet.
She's the missing ingredient.
um, yeah. So, I mean, when I look at this project that I'm working on right now, with the videos and stuff, it's like there's a part of me that's like, yeah, that's a good video. Like, yeah, you know what you're talking about. Yeah, this is all going to work. And then there's that other part of me going, nobody's going to want this. Why the fuck are you even bothering? Nobody's going to want this. You're going to have to go and get a job in Shoppers Drug Mart just to pay your bills. What the hell are you even bothering for?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I don't know if that's like partly imposter syndrome, but also, partly that sort of what do you say? Like,
Self-doubt.
yeah, like that incredible, feeling of,
Not being good enough, not
yeah.
being, yeah.
And I mean, I've lived with that my whole life for sure,
Yeah.
of not feeling like, I could do what I what I was good at. And I
Mhm.
think when I became a doula, it was like, yeah, like I really enjoy this. Like this is, and I love doing this. And I
Mhm.
love talking about it. And then the more I learn and the more I get, the more I read and the more I talk to people and the more I, go to workshops and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah. And it's funny. I will say this. Whenever I have like a breastfeeding question or whatnot, and I pass it out to you guys who I feel, are like 10 times above me as far as knowledge goes, I'll like put that in and go, what would you do? And I've already done what I would do. And then when it comes back and it's the same thing, I'm like, oh, yes, I got it right.
But you
Oh,
still feel the
yes.
need to check all the
Yes,
time.
I still feel the need to like just double check that I did do it right, even
Mhm.
though I'm 50 years old and I've been at this, for
For a
50
minute or
years.
two.
Like, fuck, you know what you're doing.
Mhm.
And I love
Trust
it.
yourself.
I love it when I hope they don't listen to this. I have a client right now and they're in my prenatal classes and they've been reading this book. I can't remember. It's like What to Expect, but it's not, or What You Didn't Expect. I don't know, but it's written by an economist. I don't know.
Yeah. I've heard about it. It's supposed to be really good
Yeah.
or an
So,
interesting read. I don't know if it's good in terms of like life, but an interesting read.
yeah. So they were saying, um, the dad is reading it. So the husband's reading it. And he says after like the second class, maybe the third class, oh, here comes Steph, that, you know, 95% of what I said is the same as what's in the book. And I'm like, well, you're fucking right, it is, because I'm brilliant. And
Yeah,
whenever,
but you don't know what bullshit that book might be saying.
well, no, well, that's very true. That's why I'm like, what does this, I should probably get this
I
book
keep
and
on
read it.
meaning to look up that book and read it too because I
Yeah.
keep hearing about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but then the other thing is when a client says, yeah, that's what my doctor said. Yeah, because I know what I'm fucking talking about. Just because I don't have a white coat, why aren't you listening to what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So then there's the other side, where the imposter syndrome is like, fuck, you know what you're talking about. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
Stephanie.
Hello,
You're
Stephanie
here.
Ann, you are here.
I am here. All is well. I am back from my pussy pro. Everything went very well.
I was gonna say, how's your woohoo? That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I'm not sure
But
I was
you
gonna
gotta
go, but that
count on Stephanie to bring the bag of dicks.
oh
And
yes, we haven't said here that Stephanie, so last week we saw cookies shaped like penises with icing and sprinkles. And then Stephanie went and dropped some off at our houses and they
she did.
sat on my table. My daughter is still mortified. I think I don't care what shape these cookies are in. I'm just going to eat them. It's like,
That was me.
eh.
I ate them anyway. They were good. They were delicious. I ate the whole bag of dicks.
That's
Awesome.
exactly what the bag told you to do.
I didn't discriminate, separate, segregate the different colors. I just
Yes,
reached
they
in the
came in
bag.
different colors.
They came in
as
different colors.
well.
I just grabbed. Would have been funny if they came in different sizes. That's what would have been funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
That could be fun because
she
size
should do
matters.
that. She should do that. Make longer ones, skinnier ones, short, fat ones, whatever. I'm just little business tip there. I just reached in the bag and pulled one out, dipped it in the sauce, and ate it because they were fucking delicious.
the icing was
they were
quite
good.
good. I will
They
I
were
will admit.
good. They were really good.
That
I
creamy
asked, I had a
icing.
couple left over and I was gonna offer it to I offered one to my mom. Oh no, I looked at my mom was sitting at the table and I said to Will, I said, should we offer grandma a cookie? And he's like, no, don't. Okay, never mind. Here's the pie.
What traumatizes Nana?
Yeah, exactly. I think he loves her or something.
Traumatized Will watching his Nana eat a dick. you know?
Right? That might have been the whole thing.
I would have loved to have videotaped my mom offering her a plate. Mom, do you want a little biscuit?
Just the tip.
Want a little biscuit? It's okay. You can't get pregnant. You can't. It doesn't do anything. They're just cookies. She would be horrified. Well, but I think she would laugh. She does have a sense of humor. She's not that much of a prude. She would
What's
laugh.
this at?
Oh my goodness!
That would be her. That would be her.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that's funny.
Her quaint old Jamaican Britishness would come out, and she would be just like she's not British at all, but you know the leftover
Colonialism.
colonialism would be like, oh no, oh my goodness, no. Who did that? Who made those? How could they? With a twinkle in her eye. How could they?
The twinkle in the eye, right?
Twinkle in the eye would be there. for sure.
Oh my God, that's so funny. So, Steph, how's your pussy?
So yeah, how is it?
It's lovely. I actually did not do an internal today though. I was ready for it, but because I'm going to see my doctor next week, my OB,
Surgeon? Yeah.
gynae, then she's going to do a checkup, a physical checkup next week, and then I'm going to do an internal with her after. But it was really cool because we went over a lot of the things that we learned and we did when we had Melissa off, Mommy Berries.
Yes.
And when we had her on the show, there's a lot of things that she went over that I went over with Jill today. So Jill Mueller, she was amazing. And like functionality, engaging things, symptoms I was having, and what things I'm going to work on over the next 4 weeks, which is basically a series of exercises that are very similar to things that we do when we're preparing for labor, like cat-cow and things like that, to release the pelvic floor, to release the lower back, when to engage, when to recognize that maybe you're engaging when you don't need to. It was highly informative. It was there's a lot of good stuff. Some woo-woo stuff, some very scientific stuff. She was a smart lady to talk to.
Balance.
Yeah,
I like a good mix of science and
That's
woo-woo.
what I
Very
was gonna say.
pragmatic,
very pragmatic.
Science plus woo-woo equals pragmatic.
right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like we did a full body emotion scan. Like, how do you feel when we talk about breathing into your, your forehead, and then you're going to, how do you feel in your eyes? Like we did a lot of feeling stuff along with feedback stuff, and then with actual exercise, engaging items, and so practices to use now until I see her next time.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I liked it. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. We can podcast the journey through pelvic floor physiotherapy.
There you go.
And so you're going to have an appointment with your doctor next week, and then after, when you go back to her for another visit, you'll have an internal then?
At that time, yes. So because I haven't had my internal with my doctor yet, and because I am still having spotting, which is an indicator of healing still happening, she doesn't want to go up and mix up a cocktail that isn't ready to be mixed up. So
Got it.
yeah.
So, just to, where are you spotting from?
My vagina.
Okay, because the uterus is
my
gone, correct?
vagina. Yeah.
Okay.
The uterus is gone. So there's like a cuff at the top where they've sewn it shut at the top of my vagina.
Okay. All right. I'm
Right.
just trying to visualize it all.
Trying to get a visual on that.
I'm not trying to visualize your vagina. I'm trying to visualize the internal workings of what is
Oh, I've been
happening.
trying to visualize her vagina this whole time.
Well, all you got to do is ask, guys. It's not like it would take much for me.
Well, that's why
know
we don't ask, because we know the answer won't be no.
Steph, can you just climb up here and spread them? I just want to see check something for a second. And Steph was like, yeah, sure, hang on.
I'll never forget the time you went into my bathroom. You came in here, flooded, went into my bathroom and came out with my own pajama pants on. I'm like, wait a minute, that isn't what you went in with. And they look like mine.
That's because they are.
I'm like, okay.
But my pants were full of blood. So
there you go. Can I get you a plastic bag for that? I don't know. So Stephanie,
boy.
Have you ever had imposter syndrome?
Can someone give me the full definition of imposter syndrome? Can we start there?
Oh God, we just went through this. Jesus
Right?
Christ.
We'll go through it again. We'll go through it again for you. Okay.
Because we love you.
Because we love you. Well, what's an imposter? Can you can you imagine what's an imposter? Somebody who pretends to be something that they're not. Right? So imposter syndrome is when you worry that the public face of you, the face that you show to people out in the world, is going to be discovered to be false, and that the world is going to discover the real you, which is sorely lacking, not very smart, not all the things that you doubt yourselves about. You're worried that the world is going to find out that you really are not this strong, independent, charismatic, dynamic, go-getter, whatever person that you want them to think about, person that you sometimes pretend to be, or that you are, but maybe it's not all of you.
So is the worry that people will believe that I am that person and I'm not, or that I'm only
or that you're portraying that person, but they'll find out that you're not that person. And the thing is that it's not that you're not that person. It's just that fear that's living inside you is telling you that they don't think that you are.
I just gave an example of when I was in high school and I would get like really good grades on my essays. And I was part of me was just like, oh my God, I better get out of here quickly before he asks to read it again and realizes that it's not actually good and not worth 95%. That kind of thing. Like I felt like I was pretending to be a good writer. I was impersonating a good writer. And if you looked closely, you would see that actually she's not. Let me change that grade. That kind of thing.
Yeah. So I actually had a case of imposter syndrome many moons ago then, I think, or I was worried about imposter syndrome. So way back in the 90s, the phrase I'd say to people, people ask you, what do you do? What do you like doing? Stuff like that. I said, oh, I'm a runner. I enjoy running. And then what happened is I joined a few years later after I moved to Ajax, I joined the running room. Mm. And people started asking me questions like, what's your distance? What's your this? What's your timing? And I'm like, the fuck, I don't know. It's like, oh, I thought you were
just
a runner.
Run. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I run for about anywhere from half an hour to 45 minutes because it relaxes me. And I had a big case of looking at all of these people who knew their time and had these fancy watches and all of these things. Yeah. I thought I was joining a community of runners, but I was joining a community of people who like tracked running, which felt really different to me. I thought it was just, I don't know. But I remember really having that sensation of maybe they're going to find out
I'm not a runner.
Yeah, they're going to find out I'm not a runner. They're going to find out I just run.
Exactly it. I remember feeling that too. I also joined the running room and I did 3 clinics and I ran seriously several times a week for, oh gosh, I think I finally stopped running in about August. So from January to August, I was running all the time. And I remember somebody, I think it was Carolyn Pryor, because she was the one who convinced me to start going to the clinic. She, you know, said something about being a runner. And I said, well, I'm not a runner. And she goes, what are you talking about? Of course you are. And then I was like, I'm a runner? Am I? I don't think so. And when I would leave to my house to go running, you know, somebody like my daughter would say, are you going for a run? And I would feel like saying, no, I'm just going outside and I might run.
Might move fast.
I might move my legs fast, but that doesn't mean I'm going for a run. And I'm starting to think, for me anyways, I think everybody has a different way that it manifests in their life. I'm worried about keeping it up. I need to have lots of space to fail and collapse. And if I say and embrace being a runner, how embarrassing is it when I stop which I did. I don't run anymore. So I'm not a runner anymore. But that's what's behind the fear of being labeled a runner or a good writer or whatever, because now you're going to expect me to do that all the time. And I don't want to have to do anything all the time and forever. I can't maintain that level of excellence or that level of whatever all the time. I need to have lots of space where I can fail.
So you don't want to be, maybe that's part of it too, is we fear that people will see that, label us as something, and then find out that where we are, that we're not all that.
All the time.
And but here's a question. Why do we fear that? Like, doesn't that just give an opportunity for people to, well, I guess it's either an opportunity for people to judge us for not being what their expectations are, or to be curious and get to know us and actually figure out who we are. Maybe we got to do the same thing.
That question's too deep.
Say it again. I was too deep. It just flew.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that.
I think it's about for me, I think it's about the expectations.
Definitely.
I mean, I think for me, it's, you know, there's a part of me that as we grow older and we get into, you know, I'm a doula for, you know, even longer. Like right now, having been a doula for 15 years and wanting to be a mentor to younger doulas and whatnot. And then it's like, and yet there's nobody coming to want me to be their mentor. And it's like, but I know what I'm talking about. I don't understand why nobody wants to. Is it because I'm not good at what I do? Maybe I'm just not good at what I do. Maybe I don't. Maybe I've just been doing this for 15 years and it's been, you know, me just sitting around at births getting paid for it and not actually doing anything. Right?
Because you're such a good imposter.
I'm such a good imposter.
Such a good imposter. You're so good at impersonating an excellent doula.
Exactly. But I'm technically not.
Technically, I'm actually a shitty doula. But I play.
It very well could be true. It very well. In fact,
play a really good doula in real life.
Yeah, I'm not a doula. I just play one on a podcast.
So because we're talking about this, I decided to look up like ways to deal with or get past imposter syndrome.
Oh my God, research.
Oh, fuck.
So, but all of this just sounds like bullshit. Know the signs.
Usually is.
Let go of perfectionism. Talk with your mentor. Know you're not alone. Be kind to yourself. Say yes to opportunities. Distinguish humility and fear. Track your success. Embrace the feeling. How about just fuck it? There's actually no such thing as imposter syndrome.
That's too general. Those instructions are too general and vague. You can say that about anything. You can give those instructions about any kind of situation. And I think that, well, this is me sounding like an old fogey, like I often do. I think this is one of those things, again, that we feel we must pathologize and label. I think this whole business about imposter syndrome is something that everybody feels.
Yep.
Some people more than others, some people more frequently, some people more deeply. And for some people, it affects them in more profound ways than other ways. But I don't necessarily think like I'm aware of it. I think what we need to do, first of all, is be aware of it. And if you feel as a person, as an intelligent, sophisticated person, that maybe this runs really deeply and has connections to your childhood or your relationships or whatever, and it's bothering you enough that you feel you need to work through it, then do something to work through it. See a therapist, talk to your friends, journal, whatever you do to work through things. But I don't necessarily think that we all need to now start trying to get rid of our imposter syndrome.
No,
It's
and I mean,
there.
I'm
It's
50
there.
years old, for God's sake. I mean, I've lived with it my whole life. It's never going away. Who the fuck cares at this point? But I think,
Well, and
sorry, I was just going to say the reason I brought this particular topic up is because you see on stupid Facebook groups, again, I don't know why the fuck I even go on Facebook, but whatever, I do it anyways to get us topics. That
That's why you have a greater purpose.
it's right. Um, is I had seen, and you see them all the time, like posts going, I was at this birth, but I didn't really do anything, and I just didn't feel like I was, that I'm going to be good enough or be able to support them or da da. Da. And it's like, you know what? No, like even if you feel that leaving a birth, because I've absolutely felt that leaving a birth, not so much now that I'm older, but definitely in the beginning. And yet, when you ask the client, so here you go, ask the client. And I used to ask this at prenatals. I don't anymore because, again, I've been at this 15 years. I know I'm pretty good. Is that, hey, was there anything I could have done differently for you? How did your birth go, and how, if I do anything that was particularly helpful for you, or like just ask them, was I helpful to you? And 99% of the time you're going to get, oh my god, I couldn't have done it without you. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, well, yeah, you could have, which is another reason why I don't ask anymore, because you could have. And then the last time I asked for it was after a birth where I vomited in the middle of it, and I said, was there anything that could have happened differently? And they're like, yeah, you couldn't have vomited. I'm like, okay, well, I'm never asking this question again because I don't want to know the answer.
But you know what? It is in that you said 99% of the time it'll be, oh, I couldn't have done it without you. But that 1% is where you grow.
Mm-hmm.
Because it
Oh,
is that
absolutely.
you're going to take to heart and figure out how you can change and improve and grow within yourself and as a birth worker.
And that's why feedback is good and important in postpartums, because again, as you say, that helps you to learn as you're going through this, to what did happen, what did help, what didn't help.
Mhm.
How could you have found that out maybe in the prenatals prior to digging around a little bit more? I don't know, we're going off on a different tangent, but
But I wonder if this imposter syndrome is getting so much attention right now. I understand it's been around for a long time, but right now we're living in such a unique time where not only are we all, maybe because we are all home, so many people's business, what they're putting out there is being shared online. And when it's being shared online, you can choose to really be completely transparent. You can choose to only be completely, perfectly curated, or somewhere in between. And I wonder if it's becoming more noticeable because there's some people who feel like they need to be perfectly curated on IG, on TikTok, if there's only one thing. And so afterwards, because they've chosen to not share something that might just be personal and the whole world doesn't need to know about it for you to feel good, then you start suffering from imposter syndrome because you're only letting this perfectly curated part out. And if someone finds out that's not it, you then worry that you have failed, or people won't want to buy from you or something because you're not that. So I wonder if part of the answer is not making a perfectly curated life online, or like not trying to control it so much. As I sit here sitting there talking about,
my life is definitely not curated online.
I wonder if that's why it's getting so much attention, because there's so much that's being put out online where you have that control of what's being seen.
Well, it's very true. And I mean, like we were talking about, this project that I'm working on and these videos, I mean, and maybe that's what's causing me to be delayed, is that I'm absolutely terrified to pull the trigger and release these videos.
And put
I
yourself out there.
and put myself out there. Put myself out there not only as me, but put myself out there as a supposed expert. And what terrifies me is that it's going to come back and go, oh, you know what? What you said there, that's wrong. Over here, that sound, it didn't sound good, and it's not good quality. And it's like it's the fear of that negativity coming back at me. I don't know if I can handle it.
You're impersonating a confident, knowledgeable birth person who knows their shit and is feels like they have enough knowledge and expertise to put something out into the world for people to pay money for. Like, you feel like you're impersonating somebody who does that.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I'm somebody who doesn't know anything and is afraid, and I don't know if what I'm saying has any worth or value for people to pay money for.
Yep.
So that's the imposter syndrome. You're impersonating somebody who,
Yep. And I'm going to pull that trigger, and then I'm going to go over into that little corner of the couch there, and I'm going to curl up in a ball and hopefully die, because I don't want to know what happens. I don't want.
Well, maybe the cure for imposter syndrome is people need to cultivate courage, because that's what it's going to take for you to pull that trigger, because all your fears and doubts are real.
Yep.
Right? All your fears and doubts are real, and you've got to let go of the notion that you are impersonating somebody successful and worthy. You've got to let go of the notion that you're perpetuating some kind of masquerade, and you've got to feel that fear and launch it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's,
I know,
that's
and
courage, that's bravery, and that's the only way to overcome it. Because if you sink into the imposter syndrome, then you won't do it. Then you'll just be stuck in it. So you've got to ignore it, put it behind you, feel it anyways, whatever, and just do what you need to do anyway.
Yep.
It's that Theodore Roosevelt fucking quote that Brene Brown is always was inspired by. It's like that it's not the critics who count, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's in the actual arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, comes short, and tries again. Like, fuck what other people think might come back and say, hey, that was wrong, that was wrong. Well, fuck you. Are you up here doing it? Are you in my house making these videos? No, you actually literally do not count, because you're not choosing to do the work. You're only choosing to sit there and criticize it. Mm-hmm. So unless you have something productive to say, motherfucker, see you later.
And I think that's one of the reasons why, like, I just left a couple of mom groups this week because of the sheer utter amount of horrible, negative, venom crap that people spew at one another on social media. Just and it turned on me, and I was like, fuck this shit. I'm out. Like, I can't get into, please don't bait me. I'm not getting into this with you. You're wrong. You're an idiot, but you're wrong to start. Whether you're an idiot or not, we're all stupid, but you are scientifically wrong. And I'm not going to get into this bullshit with you. So fuck it. I'm out. I'm leaving this group because I can't. And when it comes back and it says, why are you leaving this group? Can you give me a bigger paragraph to write everybody on this group is a goddamn moron, mean as a snake, and has nothing good to say ever. Mm-hmm. So that's when I see all that stuff online, and I'm not going to lie, doulas are some of the worst for spewing, negativity at other doulas. I will admit I think it's getting a little bit better out there. But it's that from my supposed peers. And given that most of these people have been doulas for like a nanosecond, and you're coming at me who's been in this work for like 15 fucking years, honey, you have this job because of the work that me and my peers did to get to this point. So
Years.
yeah,
Please,
I mean,
Mario.
I'm like the end of the pioneer, like, but fuck you.
Mhm.
You don't, but I have to keep remembering that, right? Because I don't remember that.
Yes, you have to always remember to come back to your own center. People have to figure out who they are, what their value is, and what their worth is. They need to cultivate that so that you can come back to it when all of the shit is being thrown at you, in order to not like be buried underneath all of the crap, including imposter syndrome. You have to know who you are at the core. So yes, you are worthy of, and you're capable of creating a program that you can launch into the world, and uh and see what happens. Nothing is guaranteed, because that's also a reality. Nothing is guaranteed, and but you take a chance because that's what life is all about. Do it.
Well, and here's a frankism. We haven't had one in a while.
Oh, good old frankism.
Here's a frankism. I'm sure he isn't the first to have said it, but he used to always say, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And that is, throw it out there, give it a try, see what happens.
Exactly right. You've got to venture before
Throw
you
the shit at the wall and see if it sticks, he'd say.
it doesn't work the other way around. You've
No.
got to try. And sometimes you're going to fail, because that's what business is all about. And I remember being totally amazed when I heard that Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player of all time, like is he still? I don't know. Maybe.
Probably. Well,
Okay.
I don't know.
So very,
He's
very
right
good
up there.
player. Yeah. Got kicked off the high school basketball team because he wasn't good enough.
Right?
And I remember thinking, what? Yeah, that's right. He wasn't born with a basketball in his hand, knowing how to do that. Same with Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods wasn't born with a golf club in his hand. It was years and years and years of grueling, practicing, trying. And I am sure lots of disappointments and failures that get you to where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only way that the three of us are sitting here with however many decades of experience between us is through all the mistakes, all the trial and error that we've gone through since day one until now. You don't ever get where you are. Anything worth working for, like worth having, is worth working for, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And
Anything worth having is worth that kind of fight.
there's
Something
going to
like
be
that.
mistakes along the way. People need to like do what I said. Yeah, people need to do what I say, first of all.
That's right.
All of y'all need to do what I say. Cultivate some courage. Don't pathologize your shit. It's not that something's wrong with you. This is a part of the human condition. You feel like you're pretending to be something that you're not, but it isn't that way. I'm not, like, we're not, who is all the time independent and straightforward? Sometimes you're curled up in bed and you're crying because some kind of bullshit's going on in your life and you don't know what to do. I remember years ago, my daughter-in-law sent me a cartoon. It was hilarious. The first square was like a woman lying in bed, and she's like, oh my God, I wish I had somebody to bring me tea and rub my feet and just hold me and take care of me. And then the next square, she sits up and she's like, oh my God, but I forgot, I'm a strong, independent woman. So therefore you can't have that. Yes, you can have both.
Yeah, you can.
You can be both. So you're not pretending to be strong and independent. You are that, but you're also a marshmallow who cries all the time and who wants to snuggle up in bed with their puppy on rainy days and do nothing. Like, you are all those things, and it's okay.
Yep.
Nobody's just one thing. So imposter syndrome, to me, is normal unless you allow it to take over your life.
And that's it right there.
It's normal.
Absolutely.
It's okay. You can feel like you're not pretending that day when you're leading that fucking seminar in heels and a suit and lipstick. Doesn't mean you have to wear heels and a suit and lipstick every single day. because tomorrow, as soon as you go home in your head, you're like, yeah, if they only knew I'm going home with a bag of cookies and putting my sweats on immediately as this thing is over. And that's normal. That's totally normal because we're all whole people.
Yes, we're multifaceted. We're not singular in any manner. Like we can go hard like you can go hard all day at work and come home and get into a onesie PJ with, the fluffiest, frilliest shit you can think of, because that makes you happy. That doesn't make you the opposite of what you are at work if you're an absolute badass at work.
I actually remember some clients I had, and they had planned an unmedicated birth. They didn't want as few interventions as possible, So we did a lot of that sort of woo-woo kind of stuff, talking about your high, like they were into that stuff, the higher power. So I'm all supporting of them doing all that kind of stuff and breathing and so on. Very crunchy granola kind of people. Great, fantastic, lovely birth. Everything was great. And then at our post-birth visit, I think it was, or I can't remember, or maybe I think I was with them for 2 births, and the next time I went to their house to see them, I was coming from somewhere. I was dressed up. Like dressed up, like with a blouse and my hair done and mascara and lipstick and everything. And I came to their house and I kicked off my shoes and they were like, whoa, they were surprised that was also me. Yes, that is also me. I'm not just sweatpants and running shoes to come and rub your back and do that. Yes, I can get dressed up and wear lipstick, and I am that person too. And I'm not impersonating somebody. This really is me. It's just one part of me, and that's okay. So you need to embrace, people need to embrace all the parts of them. You are a fantastic doula who goes out there and gets shit done, but you're also a business person who doubts whether or not the program you created is going to work, and you're scared, but you're going to do it anyway. Like that's just how it goes. And it's all okay.
True.
Yes, it is.
Mm. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk. We will send you.
Because we'll never actually be on stage for a TED Talk, so you're just going to have to see it here.
You're going to, this is your therapy session for this Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
We have solved all the problems in your life.
And really, if you're a new doula, I mean, just go in and do you. Like everybody's like, well, it's my first birth. What do I do? You just go in and be you.
Yeah.
You just go in and you hold their hair and you talk nicely and softly to them. You rub their back and you get them water and you be that person for them.
Yeah.
Like
That's what you do.
It's like your drunk best friend after they've had their first bad breakup. Hold their hair, rub their back, watch for the things that they need you to do, which mostly is listen, and keep them hydrated, get them a snack.
And the thing is that especially if this is a first birth, they don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know that you didn't do something differently. What they know is who says it? They won't remember what you did. They remember how you made them feel.
Exactly. And you got to tap into whatever it was that brought you to this work. Somebody didn't say, okay, we got to pick a profession for you and just threw the word doula in your lap. And now you just got to, something brought you here, some experience, some philosophy, some deep inner calling, something brought you here. So don't hold on to that, latch on to that and create your own doula practice based on what you feel. Like I know a lot of people came here because of their experience with a pregnancy loss. As a matter of fact, and they experience such horrible treatment at the hospital that they want to be there for people who, to help prevent that. Make that your thing. Or you had a fantastic experience and you want to support people to have good experiences. Make that your thing. Whatever it is that brought you here means something, and that's why you should like lock onto that and build on it and nurture it and make it your own, because there's nobody like you, sweetie.
No. And when they hired you, they chose you. They saw something in you that they felt they needed in their birth.
Mm-hmm.
So live on that and just again, just be their person for that time that they're going through that and enjoy the experience as it happens.
Yep. Oh my God, we're good. We are very
God, we are so
good.
good.
We
There's-
should rule this fucking world.
Why don't we need to write a book?
You know what I need to do?
Go to the bathroom?
No, I've already done that, but thank you for asking. Butchie has a specialty chicken burger this week. It is 2 donuts from Crave Donuts. On top and underneath, instead of a bun, they have 2 Crave Donuts on top of a fried chicken sandwich.
Nope.
Who has that?
Nope. Butchies.
Butchie's for 3 days only.
Nope. Nope.
Well, thank God, I am too far away from Butchie's, even if I was tempted to try that, which I'm not.
No, that sounds that what is look, I don't go to the X. That's the end of that. I don't eat really weird fair food. That's what that sounds like. That's
Fair food.
right.
Carnival food is not my favorite cuisine.
No.
Actually, I'm lying. I love a corn on a stick that's been dipped in a vat of melted margarine. Oh,
See,
yeah.
that's just life. That's not fair food. That's
I love
see
me
now
some
I want that for dinner.
donuts that come rolling out of the thing. Those are some of the quintessential experience of the Canadian National Exhibition held in Toronto every year except this year.
The last time I was at the X, I was 8 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I've never been back since.
Really?
Yep. I
What the
cannot
hell?
stand the X.
Wow.
It is,
Are you
it gives
Asian
me,
Canadian? Something
yeah, I
that
probably
must
have to
take away
hand
your-
back, I probably have to hand back in my citizenship.
Yeah, you're losing it. You're in
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah, no, I think it is the awfulest, creepiest, gives me the heebie-jeebies, can't handle any of it. The whole idea of the X makes my skin crawl. And I've always felt this way. I don't know what happened to me when I was at the X when I was 8 years old, but
The carnies.
yeah, no, probably. I know too much true crime.
Well,
The carnies are gonna get ya.
yeah, I only learned about true crime, only started getting into true crime recently, but no,
Yeah,
I love the carnival atmosphere. I love it. The
no,
music,
creeps me out.
smells, the wild rides, the quiet rides, just will not, the haunted house scares the shit out of me. But what a great date. I've been to the X so many times with boyfriends.
Wow. I
Friday
had a
night.
boyfriend once take me to I had a boyfriend once take me once as our first date, took me to a flea market.
Okay,
Nope. No.
bad idea.
No. I mean, I
Love
don't
flea
wear fancy things, but no. The humanity at a flea market. Now, keep in mind, this was like 30 years ago, 35 years ago. But the humanity at a flea market, nope. No, thank you. No, I don't want to be
She's like scratching her neck. She's getting itchy.
here.
Like there's actual fleas at the flea market now on you.
I don't want to be here. I was like, yeah, no, this is great. Can we go to the movies now?
Yeah.
Can
Are
we
you
just
gonna
sit in a dark theater? Thanks.
yeah. With sticky gunge on the floor? Theaters are the grossest places ever. Movie theaters.
I'm fine with that. As long as there's no creepy person next to me.
Everybody has their level of grossness. Gross
Yeah.
out. They will not go near.
And you know what the weird part is I actually dated that guy for like 4 years.
God.
I don't know how he lasts. I don't know how he made
Had
it
other
beyond.
attributes besides his first date choices?
No, not really.
Other good things about him.
Nope,
Hmm.
nothing.
Not good at laying the pipe? What?
It's like 14 years old, Stephanie.
Maybe
Jesus.
not.
Maybe not. So for our listeners who are 14, no, no such thing. Don't
Life
listen.
does not matter.
Doesn't matter. All right, people.
All right.
I'm gonna go get something to eat. and take this doggy out to pee because now she's staring at me. She always, you know what? She goes under the couch and she stays there and she doesn't even come out. And then towards the end, she always comes out.
She knows the time.
That's enough, Suzanne. What the
You've
hell?
talked enough, Suzanne.
Can you please get out and pay attention to me now? Very fine.
All right, I'm going to take your picture.
Okay, Ziggy. Here we
Okay,
go.
Ziggy, come on, we need to see you big. Oh, there you go. There we go. Perfect.
All
All
right.
right.
Well, Stephanie, I am glad that you got your preliminary Yoo-hoo appointment.
Oh my God, there you are. No.
How
Do we take that picture?
do you take a screenshot on your computer?
I don't know. I have a Mac. It doesn't have that option.
What the hell?
Sorry. It's been I've become so entrenched in a Mac
Macified?
now.
You're so Macified?
I'm so Apple-fied.
Mhm.
No, we don't want to see up your goddamn nose. You get we're still recording, right? Sweet Jesus.
No
Jesus,
imposter syndrome here.
Oh God. No, but you're giving me like ghosty ghost
All
in
right,
the
Mama.
computer. All right. So everybody, we're reading The Birth Yard. You've got a few more weeks if you want to sign up to be on the podcast to discuss it. The Birth Yard by Mallory Tater.
Down here on my shelf right
Yep,
here.
not super enjoying it, to be completely honest. But well, we'll see. I only just started it. It only just came in the mail. Rate, review. Oops. My internet connection is unstable. Rate, review, and subscribe. Tell your friends. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Find that video for us that Suzanne mentioned in the beginning. We need somebody out there scouring the depths of the black web looking for it. And yeah, be good, be healthy, wash your hands, wear a mask,
All of that.
and have a great day.
All right. See you next week. Bye.
Peace.
This under